SimWorld presents Around the Table with E and the Fat Man.
What's up, everybody? It's me, it's the B.O.B., and I'm here with my man, E. How are you doing today?
Hey, Bob, I'm doing pretty well. I am glad. It's very fall-like where I live. I'm loving the weather, loving the season, football season too. Everything pretty good with me. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I mean, like you said, it's football season. Everything is perfect in the world now. We got the start of SWFL this week. We got week 2 of the SimWorld U Football wrapping up. But I mean, there's some games still going on right now while we're recording that we're gonna miss out on talking because there's been a lot of upset alerts on today. And I'm Alabama was on upset alert for a little bit, but I don't think they are anymore. But there was a lot of crazy things going on. So with the first couple of weeks of SimWorld U Football and the start of week 1 of the SWFL, has there been any surprises for you, E?
Yeah, well, first of all, we should let people know that we're recording before the pro games kick off here. So at least the Sunday ones. So just so people know that, so we don't have insight into that yet. But on the U side,
hold on, E. I messed up a little bit. This is Around the Table with E and the Fat Man. That is E. I am the Fat Man, and this is the podcast that we talk about whatever we want. Go ahead and continue, E.
Yeah, well, to launch into it, talking about the U games and two teams that, surprised me had poor homecomings this weekend. And the first one, big story, of course, Notre Dame, of course. Yeah. But what shouldn't be forgotten in the shocking loss today to Western Illinois is that they went on the road and they handled a pretty dang good Texas A&M squad just a week ago that made you think that maybe they were for real. I don't even need to go too much into this. The shock of that one just kind of describes itself. But the other thing, that gets kind of, and I think you're going to appreciate me bringing this up, Bob. But the other thing that gets kind of pushed underneath, gets put under the covers a little bit, just because this is sort of stealing all the oxygen. The Notre Dame big upset is Penn State, who again I gave some credit for scheduling a good opening game. Went to West Virginia. That Mountaineer team is actually pretty decent, and at least I think so. And the Nittany Lions went in there and handled their business in Morgantown, and then came home this Saturday. And Bowling Green
slept
really
in the first half. They took a nap.
At Bowling Green, Connor Bazelak, ex-Hoosier quarterback for one brief year. This is like Bazelak's 7th year, by the way, of being a quarterback in the U. But through the third quarter, they were in it. They were the Golden Falcons, Golden Eagles, whatever they are. They were hanging in there. Before I kick it over to you, Bob, for your disappointment or shock surprise of the weekend. There was another Big Ten team that's kind of get off a little bit easy because of the shocking Notre Dame upset. And if that hadn't happened, you'd probably be hearing a little bit more about Iowa. Starting the season all right, had a decent-looking win last weekend, but couldn't get it done in the Cyhawk game. Beat on a last-second field goal there, dramatic too. That I thought might have been the headline story coming out this weekend, but not to be.
No, there's a lot of teams for the majority of the games on upset alert. The Notre Dame one is definitely going to stand out the most because they should not have lost to Northern Illinois at all.
Crazy.
And it happens.
It did.
Yeah, it did. Some people, I think, the other talking heads out there really thought that Michigan might have stood a chance against Texas. That second quarter, Texas just absolutely ran away with the game. Yeah. Michigan couldn't get anything going at all. Coming into the game, people were talking about Quinn Ewers being overrated. Or just not being as good as we think. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, the Penn State game was disappointing to say the least. Obviously, they came out in the second half and played a lot better defense. We only gave up 3 points in the second half, but that first half, going into halftime, losing against Bowling Green, you never want that to happen.
Yeah. But you guys did come back and get the win, unlike the
Yeah.
Fighting Irish. So that's what really matters most in a lot of ways, not how much you win by if you beat the spread. But particularly what stunned me about Penn State was just that, again, they had a really convincing win over a West Virginia team that I think is a decent football team, and didn't think they'd have a problem today, and boy, they did.
Yeah, I'll say this: a lot of people were surprised to see Kyle McCord transfer from Ohio State last season to Syracuse, and he's got them on a nice little 2-0 run to start the season with a win yesterday over Georgia Tech, number 23 Georgia Tech.
A ranked Tech team. Yep, that's right. Yeah, no, congrats to McCord. Good to see him going on. No, that's great.
But someone with his talent, he's doing what he should be doing against some of the lower talented teams in SimWorld U Football. But I don't know. Good for him. I'll say good for him. I don't want to rain on his parade at all. But yeah, I for SimWorld U Football, man, there's just week 2 was a crazy one. What are your thoughts on? We'll switch gears a little bit. We saw a couple games. We got 2 games this week so far in the SWFL. Chiefs over the Ravens. Eagles over Packers. I'll tell you what stood out for me, and it's going to be the obvious one, is Saquon Barkley scoring 3 touchdowns for the Eagles. He wasn't rushing too hot in the beginning of the game. I forget if I remember seeing he was 3 rushes, 3 carries, 6 rushes, 6 carries, something like that. But they got going. I think that's the perfect offense for him. And I don't think the 3 touchdown game is going to be a fluke for him this year. I think we're going to see a lot of those because of how talented he is, if he can stay healthy, and that's going to be a big if.
Yeah, that's always big too. No, look, early goings, but week 1, you got to give him an A. You got to give him a high mark on his report card. Definitely got it done there. And the 3 touchdowns, all I know for sure is somewhere here around the Chicago area where I'm in, DeAndre Swift was sitting there watching TV, just getting so mad watching them hand off the ball to Saquon when they get up on the goal line. He
Absolutely.
hated that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but that Green Bay, I don't know how long Love is going to be out for. It sounds like he'll be out for just a couple of weeks. It sounds like the knee pop. I watched the video. The pop looked bad. The first time I saw it, I was like, and then I watched it again in slow-mo, and it was like, I don't know about it.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll see exactly how quickly he comes back. That's definitely a blow to Green Bay, in addition to coming out of that game with the loss.
Yeah.
But the other thing, I guess, from the early games that kind of caught my eyes and surprised me a little bit is, again, it's early in the season. You don't want to carve this in stone anywhere, but I thought I had high expectations. I think I'm a big fan of Derrick Henry. I don't think he's close to washed at all at age 30. He's an unusual physical type who I think is going to maintain his ability for at least the next season or 2. And all the same, I find the fit in that Baltimore offense with him very weird now that I'm watching it. It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel comfortable with him back there. And like I said, week 1, no big deal, playing the reigning Super Bowl champions, and you played him well. And he got a touchdown and kind of half did all right? But that definitely kind of jarred me too, just how awkward and uncomfortable it felt. It felt like, I don't know, like Cool Whip on top of a pizza. It just didn't work.
Yeah. Again, the addition of Derrick Henry to any team is going to stand out to somebody. But the type of offense that Baltimore runs, I think there was a lot of question marks coming into the season. I don't know, unless they're going to be willing to go to some more pro style off, not the whole game, but some more pro style formations. I don't know if it's going to work out the way we expected it to work out. He's a guy. It was a complaint of Adrian Peterson with the Vikings near the end of his career, is we were really switching to more shotgun formations. He's like, I want to be running full speed before I even get that ball. And I can see that being a Derrick Henry thing. I mean, and I think we got a good year or 2 out of Derrick Henry, but we got to look back to his high school career, and his high school coach did not do him any favors. I mean, I think, did he rush for like 400 or 450 times as a senior or something
Some
ridiculous?
ridiculous number in 14 games or
Yeah,
something.
it was something
12,
ridiculous.
14 games.
I think his high school coach definitely took some years off of his career, but
You
yeah,
might be right about that too.
I don't think he's washed up, but I just don't think the Baltimore Ravens is a good. I don't think the offense is a good fit for him. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's an awkward fit. I'm going to be interested to watch it the rest of the season now, but again, it's because it just may be a bad marriage, nobody's fault. But,
and that was supposed to. The addition of Derrick Henry was supposed to alleviate some of the pressure off of Lamar Jackson, and it was the way it was explained the other day is Lamar Jackson has been expected to be the Ravens' top quarterback and top running back since he's been there, essentially. And it's just not it's not maintainable for his entire career. But you bring Derrick Henry in to take some of that load off, and Lamar Jackson still has 3 more carries than him.
Right.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But hey,
intriguing start to the season.
Absolutely. I love football though. Probably
Me too.
My favorite sport to talk about. But do you have any final words for the people?
Final words for the people is don't think we forgot about hoops with all this going on. It's all kind of happening on the Discord. Tune in there, leave us some comments. And of course, just because it's the off season doesn't mean there's not action. You got signings and debates and
pickup games all the time.
Pickup games, exactly. Yep. So hey, and next weekend we'll be back, and maybe we'll bring it back home to hoops then.
There you go. Well, E, I appreciate you always. I appreciate you as always, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their weekend.
Later, folks.